What's going on? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today I want to talk to you about Ethereum Classic. I want to give you a quick overview of some of the current data points, break it down on what is really prompting this sell-off and if it's justified or not. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that said, let's get right to it. So right now it is down 11.1%, a lot of volume, 15.2 million over this last 24 hours. And even looking at the 1 day, it did hit a low of $22.70. Absolutely crazy. So I feel like this sell-off has really proven the fact that the crypto market is extremely leveraged, and of course stop losses aided in this going down. But I think a lot of people are posting on social media that they've lost absolutely everything. So if you are trading with leverage, just tread lightly because a lot of these sell-offs are killers. So when it comes down to what is really prompting this, it is this right here. So the whole Israel-Iran scenario has escalated, because over the last couple days, like, it's been going back and forth and whatever else, and Iran has stated that they're going to attack Israel, but still, like, I think a lot of people were just assuming nothing was going to happen, but turns out they fully went through with it. So now we're watching, or I guess the world is watching, if the state is actually going to be doing something. Just saw a tweet as well saying that Biden's going to be speaking to the public, I guess from the Oval Office, so we'll wait and see what does actually happen from that. But ultimately, big money is getting out of crypto. And you can kind of see that based on the liquidations. So big money is just massively, like, they said, peace out, I'm done, I took my profits and I'm out. So yeah, definitely that is a very big red flag. And plus, aside from that though, if you are looking at a lot of the macro things that's been happening, big money has been getting out ultimately since April the 7th. Not necessarily just with ETC, but more so just the equity market. The volume has dramatically dropped ever since April the 7th, as well as technically the crypto market, more of like Bitcoin and whatever else. So the volume has been dropping. So I think this was more the precursor for anything. So I don't know if people were anticipating this. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below. But going over some data. So right now the fear and greed index is at 46. So that has dropped dramatically. Last I checked was, I think, 62, like roughly a day and a half ago. So definitely people's appetite for risk has not really been there today. So people obviously are just selling off, taking profits or whatever else. And I like to bring this up. Of course, it's not really relevant for today's kind of scenario, but number of merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment has still gone up. So 5 just in this month alone, 1,247 merchants accepting ETC as a form of payment. So definitely something to keep in mind. And plus, even if you are looking at the charts, it does appear that it's somewhat plateauing. So ETC is really slowing down in that regard. And of course, like I said, it's not just ETC selling off, it is everyone around it. So the crypto market, and no doubtably once the market does open on Monday, there's going to be a lot of blood in the market. So again, something to kind of consider. But ETC based on market cap is ranked number 26. So it's kind of faring somewhat better than the other alternate coins around it. But like I said, just big money has been just checked out. One point to watch for. So ETC is virtually staring off of a virtual cliff right now. So it is at $25.44. So trading between this S3 and this S2. $25.59 was a very strong support. Right now it did break that, so you'll kind of watch for it to kind of pull back into that. If it does fail to really get above this $25.59 and stay there successfully, then anticipate $20 is going to be next. As bad as that sounds, but based on the technicals and just big money selling and not really buying the dip, essentially, like, it is going to hit lows. And so next stop, it looks like it is going to be $20. But like I said, it did have that sell off right here to $22.70. So of course, just people are not really wanting to buy crypto right now, maybe anticipating more and more fear. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens and what Biden does say in the next little bit. So that might help recover slightly, or it could really escalate the downtrend. So we'll just have to wait and see. Clearly just the volume has been dropping over this last little bit as well. So clearly people are just holding their breath waiting. So looking on the actual chart itself, 1 day chart up, I do have the 7, 25 and 100-day moving averages, Bollinger Band, stochastic RSI and momentum. So looking at the 1 day chart right now, it is lower percentile of the Bollinger Band, below a lot of the key pivotal moving averages, as well as it stands, it is outside the Bollinger Band. So typically 9 times out of 10, whenever it is outside the Bollinger Band, it does get kind of dragged back in. So as you can kind of see, it kind of goes out, drags back in, goes out, drags back in. So that potentially could happen this time around. So this dip might be bought, but I feel like you need some settling. So I don't know, there needs to be some rectification. I don't know if that's a real word or if I just made that up, but definitely this whole scenario does need to get resolved or have some clarity put on it before this kind of reversal does happen. So without that clarification, you are going to see most likely a continuation of a downtrend. Looking at the stochastic RSI, because of this downtrend, it's completely reset the technicals. So I think that's somewhat of a positive if you want to take it as that, but you do see a very bearish deviation. Number of investors have been getting out, and you can tell that based off of the momentum. Looking at the 4-hour chart though, because like I've said in the past, it's good to look at the 4-hour, 1 hour, because everything feeds into one another. This is where you're seeing a very significant breakdown. So still oversold status, number of investors getting out. So on the 4-hour, it looks absolutely horrendous. On the 1 hour though, again, so 1 hour feeds into the 4-hour. This is where you are seeing somewhat of a stabilization. And so it is getting bought somewhat in the 1 hour. And if it does, and it's able to kind of stay above or within this range, actually, to be honest, then that is going to translate into the 4-hour and then eventually into the 1 hour. So all in all, technicals look absolutely horrific. And like I said, you really want to watch this $25.59 mark to either it get bought and dragged back into this, or potentially if it just continues to sell off, we'll just have to wait and see. And I am looking at the 1-day chart, so that is very strong support and resistance points. Just to move on to the 4-hour, just to give you a brief overview, it is below all that. So this is where you do see that outside the Bollinger Band kind of aspect. So let me know your thoughts on ETC. Have you been buying ETC over this last little bit? What is your thoughts on this without getting like political or anything like that? Because I definitely don't take any sides in the whole Israel, Palestine, Gaza scenario. Not to sound ignorant, I don't know. I haven't really been involved as probably as much as a lot of people have been, but definitely without getting political, do you think that this is going to escalate more, or do you think it's going to just cause a continuation and a massive sell-off? What's your thoughts on that? And like I said, have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And one final thing I just wanted to share with you, take advantage of this promo. Even though it is associated to stocks, it is free stuff, so you might as well take advantage. Simply sign up for a new account with Moomoo, throw $100 at it, and they give you 7 fractional shares of the Mag 7, which is a $35 total value. So that's a pretty good return on investment for just throwing $100 at a new account. So take advantage of this, link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.